There was a man who walked with God and never died. His name was Enoch. And before he was taken up, before God pulled him out of the world while he was still alive, he wrote down what he saw. The church didn't keep his book, but others did, and it changed everything about how people understood what happened before Genesis. There is an entire library about what existed before this world was created. Books written centuries before Christ, buried in clay jars in caves above the Dead Sea, where they sat untouched for 2,000 years, until a shepherd boy threw a stone into one of those caves in 1947 and heard something break. The Ethiopian church never stopped reading them. They didn't make your Bible, but they fill in what Genesis leaves blank. 1 Enoch, chapter 14. Enoch is carried up through the heavens and brought into a room. Crystal floors, walls of fire, a ceiling like the path of the stars, streams of flame beneath a throne so vast he can't measure it. On the throne, a figure of such brilliance that Enoch falls on his face. When John describes the throne room in Revelation, the crystal, the fire, the living creatures, it is almost word for word what Enoch wrote. Two men, 1,200 years apart, same room. There's another book, 2 Enoch. In this one, God sits down and tells Enoch how he made the universe. He names what he used. He calls it a doyle, a body of light so compressed that when it finally broke open, the visible world poured out of it. Then there are the translators. When scholars put the scriptures into Aramaic, they added to the opening verse something that isn't in the original, a presence at creation, the Memra, the word of the Lord. Written centuries before John, in the beginning was the Word. That is not a coincidence. And in the caves at Qumran, scrolls described an angelic priesthood performing worship in 7 heavenly sanctuaries before the material world existed. Nobody knows who wrote them. Not everyone who asked these questions came to the same answer. There's a Gnostic text, the Apocryphon of John, that takes all of this somewhere else entirely. A supreme God, distant and unknowable. Below him, a chain of lesser beings. And at the bottom, a creator shaping this world with no idea there's anyone above him. He looks at what he's made and says, "I am the only God." The church rejected that version, but it had readers for centuries. And you'll understand why it mattered when we get to the councils. These books didn't make your Bible. Some were lost, some were buried, some were quietly set aside. But their existence alone shows you how much people wanted to understand what happened before the first word. This is episode 1 of 230, the complete story of existence, chronologically, before Genesis through Revelation. All sources in the description. If this is your kind of story, follow, share, and subscribe. 229 episodes left.